Well, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to wherever you're watching us or wherever you're watching this around the world. Thank you for the support over the recent episodes and the recent Twitch streams. We've been absolutely flying. We're back for some more My Team career mode, and it's going to definitely, I personally think, be another very, very, very good episode. In terms of what we have done in the previous episodes in Miami, we got P7 in the sprint race. In the Grand Prix, it was, a different story, mainly because of the fact that we haven't been able to really get the most out of the car, mainly just driver issues. But we P7, so we got 2 points despite the DNF in the Grand Prix. Spoiler as well, if you have a bit late, but yeah, spoiler alert. I've just basically said what happened. Yeah, we finally got phase two in the engineering phase, so that is a massive step in the right direction for our team. Nonetheless, in Miami, we got 2 points at least. We lost points to Williams, but at least we are still getting the points finishes, so we can mainly just ensure that we continue on and continue scoring points. That's the main thing here. As it's our debut season in Formula One, just ensure that we get the points, ensure that we get some extra money for extra positions in the World Championship. Nonetheless, we can continue through to doing some developments and some research and upgrades. Got a new sponsor as well. Just continuing on here in the My Team series, 7 days, and this is our 7th day doing this. This is our seventh episode 7. Well, technically it's our 8th day if you include the pre-season, but this is our 7th racing episode where 7 days, 7 episodes. I don't think that's too bad whatsoever. Anyway, we're here for the race weekend. It's a sprint. It's a sprint weekend. Nonetheless, we controlled Gabriella Mini last time. We got some points, so I think I'm going to go back to Victor Martin, have some fun. Can we keep up our 100% podium rate with Victor Martin when we control him? Let's go to the garage for sprint qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix race weekend.
It's a sprint weekend here at the track, and before we can go racing, we need to go qualifying. Who will be on pole for the sprint to come? We're about to find out.
On the track then for our first lap in these full wet rain-soaked conditions here through the final chicane, completely butchering it under braking. Massive moment as we apply the power and we come up towards the line. It's going to be a 1:25.534, only near on half a second away from the Mercedes. That kind of surprised me quite a lot. Anyway, this time through the chicane we go, look how much time we gain. 2, 3, 4, maybe 5/10 of a second. It is 5/10 of a second. We come across the line and go up into 5th position behind Albon and Colapinto in 3rd and 4th. We're in 5th. We drop down a couple positions. We're now a second up on our Delta. Make that 1.4 seconds up on the Delta. Almost 1.5 seconds. We come across the line to go fastest overall in SQ1. And now we've got our first push lap here. We've got our first, our final run here in SQ1. It's on the intermediates here because look how dry the racing line is. Surely you'd think the intermediates would be faster. Through turn 1, we do go. Look at the grip. We have the grip in the turning, but if we apply the power, as you can see, absolutely none of it here. And it feels dry. It doesn't feel dry. It feels dry enough for the inters, but it just doesn't feel like any grip whatsoever. Obviously, that'll be to do with the grass we've just tagged there, but the rest of it, just a horrendous. Like, just to make our way towards turn number 6 here, go under brake and look at a bit of 4/10 of a second down. We gain time in the rotation though, as we apply the power on the exit of the corner. Massive tank slapper. That'll be that for that. But either way, we've still topped the session. It's Martin for Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton, Piastri, Sainz, Norris, Antonelli, then Alex Albon, Colapinto, Russell, Ocon, Hadjar, then Gabriel Bortoleto in P14 for Audi. He's had such a poor season as the Brazilian driver. Luckily, he's starting to regather himself. Then it's Lawson, Gasly, Bottas in the 7 to 4. Oliver Behrman in P18. Then it's Gabriele Mini in 19. Arvid Lindblad in P20. Nico Hulkenberg, Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll, and Sergio Perez round off the order in SQ1. In SQ2, though, using the battery to whatever extent we can, down in towards the final chicane we go, or what will be our first and potentially only run on this intermediate tyre, tagging all the champions on the exit of the corner, and across the line we go. It's fastest overall. And I was pushing on again, but you can see, look how far down the delta we was. We peel into the box. Nonetheless, though, we've got one run to do this. It's bone dry, and I was kind of worried when I came. I was expecting AI to be on dries. No, they're on inters as well. So luckily for us, we're out on the circuit on a dry track on inters. It might not be dry, like obviously there's sometimes where the track is still damp, but obviously you won't be able to see it. It's like it's dry enough. It's dry enough, but it's not dry enough at the same time. If that makes sense, it's not dry enough for the slicks, but it is dry enough to have basically minimal spray. Anyway, you have to think this is like a do or die lap here, but if you look in the bottom left, the AI have all peeled into the pit lane. So we've just been given basically the track to ourselves. The two cars ahead of us, the V Carb, I think of Lindblad, and the McLaren of I believe Oscar Piastri, they're out on the track on the intermediate compact, on the not the intermediate, sorry, the medium compact tyre. So, yeah, they're going for the gamble of using the slick tyre, and I don't blame them. It's nice to see the AI doing the gambling in terms of like the tyre and changing conditions. They've gone for it. I don't think it's going to work because, I mean, it might work. We don't know until they cross the line. But look at the time we're finding 1 second up on the Delta already before we make our way towards the hairpin. 1.1 seconds up. We're surely going to keep our P1 spot here unless those medium tyres are fired up and are properly in a working range. As we come down the back straight, down towards the final chicane we go towards turn 14. Racing Bulls over the line doesn't improve. All right, Oscar Piastri over the line. Piastri doesn't improve. So SQ1, we've topped the session in changing conditions. And in SQ2, we've topped the session in changing conditions. So it's safe to say we're good in the rain. We're good in these changeable conditions, you could say. And there you go. But it says confirmation with P1 from Hamilton, Hadjar, Norris, Sainz, Piastri, Antonelli, Gasly, Leclerc, Russell, Max Verstappen, though, out in SQ2, along with Valtteri, Bottas, Gabriel Bortoleto, Lawson, Albon, Ocon, and Colapinto. Wow, Verstappen being out is a massive shock, but we have to power on anyway to SQ3, and we've got one run to do. So we're giving ourselves one lap to the right of the death. We're going to give ourselves one singular hurrah here to ensure that we can try and get, hopefully, at least a top 8 for ourselves in this sprint qualifying. We don't know our pace in the dry yet. Through turn 1 we go, and then through turn 2, so much grip. It's a much more grip than I was expecting and used to because we was in inter and wet conditions. Towards turns 3 and turn number 4 we go before we make our way to the flat corner of turn number 5 for the braking zone. At turn 6, 2.5 tenths down on Isaac Hadjar. Then we go on the exit of turn number 7, make our way down towards turn number 8, momentarily using the boost, then go back into medium. Go in towards turn number 8, rotate it in, use all of the curb through turn 9, then towards a slight kink of turn number 10 before we go to the hairpin at turn number 11. Going as late on the brakes as we can through turn number 12, then apply the power, then make your way down the back straight, down towards turn 13s and 14, towards the final chicane, where we've probably just got to go all in here to see what we can gain, see what we can do, see if we can jump anyone in the running order here. Through the chicane, and we go chucking it over the curves. Over the line we go. Will it be at least a top 8, a top 9, crossing the line now? And it is going to be P9 on the grid, so that's not too shabby. Not too bad at all. I do not mind that. It's our first ever time in the final part of a qualifying session. So it's Lando on pole from Piastri, Hamilton, Antonelli, Russell, Hadjar, Leclerc, Gasly, ourselves as Martin, and Sainz. Let's go to the grid for the Canadian sprint race here in Montreal.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Antonelli, George Russell and Hadjar, Leclerc, Gasly, Martins and Carlos Sainz, Verstappen, Bottas, Gabriel Bortoleto and Lawson, Albon, Ocon, Franco Colapinto and Ollie Behrman, Mini, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, Alonso, Stroll and Sergio Perez completes our grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And joining me in the commentary box once again, Naomi Schiff. Hi, Gnomes. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. What a track this is, and what a challenge for the drivers this weekend. Long straights, heavy braking zones, and a very green surface to start with.
This happens to be one of the drivers' favourites. It is a low downforce circuit that is fast and flowing, but it is also demanding on the brakes. And be careful, because let's not forget the wall of champions that catches out so many.
Here we go then to the formation lap for the sprint race here, and a lot of AI on the hard compound tyres here, and you'll see why later. But the tyre wear usually isn't that bad in Canada, and well, we're one of two drivers I see around us on the mediums, so hopefully we can use this to our advantage here. We can use this maybe to jump, maybe Gasly to jump Leclerc. Everything will be answered in a couple moments' time. To the sprint race, we will go. Our first ever time starting in the top 10, where we go to the 5 red lights on in Montreal for the sprint race. We're underway, and towards turn number 1 we go, towards the opening corner of the circuit, looking to the inside line, diving on the inside of Charles Leclerc, free wide between the two Mercedes and Isaac Hadjar as well. We're looking around the outside of the monocaste. Now we apply the power, apply the battery, get past Charles Leclerc. George Russell was thinking of trying to dive around the outside, but slams that door shut as we make our way now in towards turn number 6. And maybe think of a dive on the inside, diving through on George Russell here. Outside line will favour us, and we get past the Mercedes man into 6th place. It's a phenomenal start here in the Canadian sprint race. Leclerc as well and Pierre Gasly have all flown by. Antonelli and Hamilton doing battle as well. We might be able to try and rival Hadjar, but no, Hadjar looking for the move around the outside. Into the final chicane we go. Not the chicane, sorry. Into the hairpin we go. Hadjar has a little bit of a moment. And make your way now down in towards the final corner. We're looking maybe for the outside line on Isaac Hadjar. Hamilton's being caught by Hadjar. Hadjar's looking for the move. And we go. They're going to make the move as well on Sir Lewis Hamilton. Wheel to wheel we go. Hamilton braves it on the outside and he's able to fend off the place. Norris makes a good start in towards turn number 1. It's actually Hamilton rivaling Piastri through the opening corner. You can see behind as well, it's free of Brest. Hamilton still doing battle with Piastri. Antonelli on the inside, keeping both positions there. Hamilton going around the outside, but Piastri on the inside later on the brakes to fend off the place. But then on lap 2, Hamilton makes it free wide, and Hamilton sails all the way around the outside of the final chicane. Sensational move. Now Antonelli and Hadjar doing battle as well. We go through turn 1. I'm just trying to find a pocket here. Charles Leclerc is also trying to look to make the move. We make our way towards turn number 3, where on this occasion they'll have to wait behind, but then we're going to look for the inside move on Isaac Hadjar, diving through, wheel to wheel, getting past the French driver. The two Frenchmen wheel to wheel, and we are the one that come out on top. Now we've got a chance to fight Antonelli. The pace in the car today seems absolutely sensational. To the inside we go, and into 4th in the sprint we go. Antonelli will keep his nose in though. We go around the outside of turn 2 and are able to get into 4th position here. Nonetheless, we continue on ourselves against Antonelli. We go later on the brakes, later than Kimi, to have the inside line to command the racing line. Then towards turn 1 we go. Antonelli as well, making his way towards turn 1. We're going to try and fight around the outside. He comes across us. We tap the rear of the Italian driver. And then make your way towards turn number 3 we go. Antonelli able to get to position here. And as we make our way towards the final corner, there's a red flag. A red flag has come out. A pile up in the hairpin. and I wasn't able to get a replay, but either way, we go to the 5 red lights on the race restart, 5 on and 5 out, and we are on the way towards turn number 1, and it seems to be quite a decent start. We got past Kimi Antonelli already, and we're looking to make the move on Lewis Hamilton. Around the outside we go to try and get the sprint podium position. Hamilton will try to fight this back, but backs out of it. He didn't have enough bravery to keep it on our inside line. Antonelli and Lewis Hamilton now coming to do battle as well. Antonelli goes on the inside. Hamilton, oh, surely not around the outside. Hamilton cuts the curb. We get the inside on Kimi Antonelli, and we're going to be gaining. Here comes Hadjar as well. Side by side, 3 abreast, in towards turn number 1. We're in a sandwich here. We've got past Hamilton. We've got past Antonelli. Somehow we've hung on to 3rd. But now, on the final lap of this sprint race, Hamilton versus ourselves. It's top speed v top speed. Audi power v Ferrari power. And it seems to be Hamilton is going to be able to hold it. Through the final chicane we go. Unless we've got a burst to the line, I think Hamilton can be able to get the sprint race. Oscar Piastri's won the sprint. We're gonna have to settle for 4th place in the sprint race. There's your sprint results as well. Non-stop action. It's Piastri from Norris. Then Lewis Hamilton in 3rd, ourselves in 4th, getting another 5 points, outscoring Williams by 4 points in that sprint race. And then Kimi Antonelli in P5 from Hadjar in 6th, Leclerc in 7th, Carlos Sainz in P8. Verstappen gets the 9th, and then George Russell finishes in 10th. We outscore Mercedes as well, which is quite good. And then Pierre Gasly in P11 from Alex Albon in P12, Bortoleto in P13, then Esteban Ocon, Valtteri Bottas, Liam Lawson, Arvid Lindblad, Fernando Alonso, Gabriele Mini, Lance Stroll, Oliver Behrman in P21, then Nico Hulkenberg, Sergio Perez and Colin Pinto round off the order. Let's go to the garage for the Grand Prix qualifying session.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here in Canada at the wonderful Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Who's going to come out fastest of all in the next hour? Yes, it's time for qualifying.
Well, here we are then in Q1 here at the end of our first run. Through the final chicane we go, and towards the line we go. Where will this first lap put us as we come across the line? It's a 1:10.737, only P13. Luckily, that was enough. Kimi Antonelli top the session from Lando Norris, then Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton in 5th, and Behrman, Albon, Oscar Piastri, Sainz, Russell, Bortoleto, Lindblad, Perez, ourselves in 14th, so that lap was actually quite enough to get through. Isaac Hadjar in 15th, then it's Hulkenberg and Gasly, then the 7th to fall. Liam Lawson, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, Colin Pinto in the Alpine, Bottas in 22nd, there's Lance Stroll and Gabriele Mini rounds off the bottom 7. Towards Q2 we do power run, and in our first run here, with 2 minutes 30 to go, we're going to do our double run like we've done throughout the whole of this current qualifying session so far. We was going to do another, we didn't do a Q1, did we? The first time we're doing a double run in qualifying. Through the final chicane we go, questionable track limits, but nonetheless, I'm surprised that it was valid. Over the line we go, a 1:10.335. We found 4/10 of a second, and that's good enough for P9. On our final run though, through the final chicane we go, and this is for a spot in Q3 for the Grand Prix, where the big points will be chucked at us. Crossing the line, is it enough for Q3? Yes, it is. 7/10 away from the fastest time. We're into Q3. Carlos Sainz has fallen at the second hurdle thanks to our heroic lap at the end. Ollie Behrman in 12th. Lindblad 13th. Max Verstappen again is out. Max Verstappen again is out in Q2, along with Hulkenberg, Perez and Bortoleto. To the final part of qualifying we will go, and we're in it again. For the first time that we're going to see both final parts of qualifying in an episode here. Towards the final corners we go. On our first of 2 laps here, we only get 3 sets of softs because of the fact it was a sprint weekend. Final corner, tagging the wall of champions as we make our way over the line. The first time will be a 1:10.077, another 3/10 found really at the end of this qualifying session, and make our now way through turn number 1, through turn number 2, and towards turn number 3. We will rise. Hopefully now we can find the time when it matters. Half a tenth up through turn 3, through turn 4, towards the flat kink of turn number 5, towards the braking zone at turn number 6. And the braking 40 hundredths away from Leclerc's first sector. Towards the end of the middle sector we go. We've lost time. We've lost a tenth of a second on the exit of turn number 7. Towards turn number 8 we go. We've just got to chuck it in and hope for the best. Through turn 8. Through turn 9. Up on the delta now. Half a tenth. 6 hundredths up. Almost 7 hundredths up. Make that down to 4 hundredths up. We go on the braking. Through the hairpin we will run. Rotate it. And straight away apply the power. And apply the battery. We lose a tenth of a second really on the exit. Antonelli goes to provisional pole position here. George Russell, can he take it away? No, Russell with a horrendous final run. Russell might only be 8th on the grid here. Towards the chicane we go. We've just got to chuck it in and hope for the best. We have a massive moment. Hit the barrier at the final chicane. And that'll be qualifying done for us. We will be lining up 9th on the grid. Even if we improved, it would have been still 9th. But it would have been nice to have that improvement. It is Antonelli on pole from Piastri, Hamilton, Leclerc, the world champion in 5th. Isaac Hadjar in P6, and it's Albon, George Russell, a horrendous qualifying for the Mercedes man, ourselves in 9th, and Gasly in 10th. Let's go to the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix race day.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to the variant of this track back in 1978, and it was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. It's a tricky circuit to tackle in wet conditions, with top speed still of critical importance down the long back straight. There are 2.7 miles and 14 corners overall on this circuit that in the dry can see average lap speeds of around 130 miles per hour. We'll be lucky to get anywhere near that today. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Andrea Kimi Antonelli lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Lando Norris, and Hadjar, Albon, Russell, Martins, and Pierre Gasly, Sainz, Behrman, Arvid Lindblad, and Verstappen, Hülkenberg, Perez, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Liam Lawson, Alonso, Ocon, Colapinto, Bottas, Stroll, and Gabriele Mini rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me for the first time this season here in the commentary box, Naomi Schiff. Hello, Gnomes. And the whole world of Formula One can't exist the way we do, walking with smiles on our faces and loving our time together. This new outfit has got a bit of a rivalry going, and I get the feeling a few noses are being put out of joint here.
Well, first of all, I'd have to say hats off to them. I don't think anyone quite expected them at this point to be as competitive as they are. And I think truly that's the reason why they're upsetting some people. If anything, it's a compliment. You're doing everything right if you're upsetting your competitors. So for now, stick to what you're doing, forget the noise, and focus on just what you guys are focused here to do. Win races and move forward on the grid.
Well, to the formation lap we go. In a rain-soaked Montreal, we're lining up 9th. Which, again, exactly where it was in the sprint race, but in completely polar opposite conditions. It was bone dry in the sprint. It's now full wet conditions in the Grand Prix. And we're going to try and do the strategy we was going to do in the Miami sprint race, where we start on the inters and hopefully we get the pace quick enough. So we line up in 9th position. George Russell alongside us as well. 5 lights on, ahead of us all. Let's go racing in Montreal. And go on the intermediate tyres. It's actually a superlative start. Already past George Russell, diving on the inside of Albon and Isaac Hadjar. Through turn 1 we go. Through turn 2 we go. Around the outside of the pair of them. And on the worst tyre, really, in these conditions, we're wheel to wheel with Hadjar. Towards turn 6 we go. We're going to sail around the outside of the Frenchman and get into 6th position. A replay of the race start then. Antonelli on pole and Piastri alongside him. And towards turn 1, they will go. Who will come out on top? It seems to be Antonelli got an absolutely perfect start. And like the sprint race, it's Hamilton challenging Piastri for second in the race. Side by side they go. Outside line again for Lewis Hamilton through turn 2. Applying the power on the exit of the corner. And towards turn number 3, they will rise. Hamilton on this occasion does get the place on Oscar Piastri. But now we go through the final corner. And look at that, we lock up. The tyre's not gripping up. And we lose position to Hadjar. Almost lose it to Alex Albon as well. But luckily, we don't. And into the pits. Into the pits come the top 6. And the question is, can we now take the lead of the Grand Prix? Can we take it away from the rest of them? We're the only one on the inter tyre. We've done five laps on this tyre. On to lap 6 we go. They're on the pit exit we go. Has Antonelli got on the big up of the gap through turn number 1 and 2? Antonelli has. Lewis Hamilton just there. Can we get it squeezed the throttle? No. We come out in 3rd position, but nonetheless, a phenomenal stint. And Piastri, I kind of forgot to turn the battery on here. Piastri gets through into 3rd position. But this is not over yet. We're going to continue to try and fight this one. To try and put Piastri all off his line here. Go for a very, very late switchback and apply the power. Towards turn 4 we go. Towards turn 3 we go. On the inside we go. And we're able to make the move. And get up back into the podium position. In towards turn number 8 we go. The tyres looking up. We going off. Piastri will have the run. Around the outside he goes. And the wonder from down under back up into the podium position. So Antonelli leads from Hamilton. Then Oscar Piastri in the safety car has come out here on lap number 21 here. Not a lot of action. The red flag. Goodness me. The red flag has thrown a twist in the proceedings here. What's happened? Oh, it's Valtteri Bottas. Bottas spinning away. Lindblad comes through unscathed. What about Verstappen? I think Verstappen's going to be okay. What about Lance Stroll and Behrman behind? Lance Stroll hits the barrier. Oh, Behrman is about Ocon. Ocon into the wall and out of the race. But to the 5 red lights on the race restart. 5 on, 5 out. No more waiting because of the second time today we've gone racing and we've flown. Hamilton's gone nowhere. No one's going anywhere. Antonelli's got his way sluggish. Diving on the inside. We go past Oscar Piastri and into the lead. Into the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. The top 3 got away so sluggishly, we just got temperature in our tyres and flew. And as we make our way towards the end of the lap, we've got a 2-second lead. But AI, in these damp conditions, they haven't got the tyres fired up at all. We've got the lead, but now Antonelli is caught right back up, and it's game on again. On lap 30 of 35, it's game on at the front of the field. We try to shut off the outside line, but Antonelli gets through. We dive in on the inside line. Go a little bit deep with a front right lockup. Minor contact between the pair of us here. Now apply the power. Head down the back straight. Down towards the final chicane we go. Antonelli pulling ahead. Minor contact between nose and light. We go towards the final chicane we go. Just get ahead of Kimi Antonelli. Instantly chop the option off and get the outside line. Through the chicane we go. Sliding around. Towards turn number 1 we go. Squeezing Antonelli to however much we can. And towards turn 1 we go. Round the outside. We will try to fend this one. Minor contact as Antonelli tries to swerve back over. Through turn 2 we go. We've got the inside line. And applying the power. Down towards turn number 3. We will rise. And can we make a move? Diving through on the inside. It's a massive tank slapper. On this occasion, though, not close enough. But then around the outside and the inside we will go. And later on the brakes we will go to get the position on Kimi Antonelli drifting through turn number 6 to get the position back again. But Antonelli's not giving this one up. Antonelli will bang back on the inside. Towards turn number 8 we go. Under braking. Kimi looks up. Kimi goes straight on. Antonelli from the lead is going to drop down the order. He's off the road. He's got to level back through. Replay of what happened. Going through on the inside line. Quite plain sailing through. Late on the brakes. Double front lockup. And then onto the grass. He lets through Piastri, Hadjar as well. Drops down to 4th. Hamilton as well gets through on the outside. So, it's a horrendous rejoin. Well, not a horrendous rejoin, a horrendous mistake by Antonelli. Here comes Oscar Piastri as well. Piastri diving on the inside line. We run wheel to wheel with the Australian and head down towards the final corners of the racetrack. Antonelli has had that mistake. It's now gifted us the lead back again. Here comes Piastri, looking on the outside line. Piastri trying to sail and dance around the outside line. We shut that one off immediately. But we're now going to be able to extend our lead, hopefully. We've got overtake as well. And on the final lap of the Grand Prix, 1.8 seconds clear, the victory is in our grasp. The victory will be ours through the final chicane for the final time in a race which was topsy and turny. It was wet, it was dry in Montreal, like Sir Lewis Hamilton. We're Formula One race winners.
And it's V for victory for Victor Martins.
It's not every day that we get to see such incredible wheel-to-wheel racing. Next time, they might consider making it easier for themselves, but today, we absolutely loved all the action that we got to see out there.
The faces on our top three look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
So here are your race results then. Victor Martins got the most points out of any driver today. He gets 30 points for his tally. So we win from Oscar Piastri in P2. 2 Frenchmen on the podium, with Hadjar getting his first podium for Red Bull. Hamilton then in P4 for the Scuderia Ferrari from Charles Leclerc. Kimi Antonelli, you could say, fumbled the win down in 6th. Then the world champion in P7, Pierre Gasly, another Frenchman in the top 10, gets P8 for the Alpine team, gets 4 points on the board for his team. Russell in 9th, then Verstappen in P10. Russell and Verstappen have a horrendous Grand Prix, but from 10th and below, it's Carlos Sainz, Gabriel Bortoleto, Lindblad, Stroll, Behrman, Albon, Lawson, Perez, Hulkenberg, Colapinto, Alonso, Gabriel Mini, Bottas, and then your one DNF, Esteban Ocon, the other Frenchman on the grid. To the driver standings we go. Norris leads it by 28 points, extending his lead back to over a race win distance ahead of now his teammate again, Oscar Piastri. Russell was a horrendous race weekend, drops down into 3rd position, Antonelli in P4. And then it's both Ferraris of Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. Then it's Verstappen in P7 on 64 points. Then we're in P8 now with Victor Martin going ahead of Hadjar on 45 points. Hadjar in P9 on 41 points. Then it's Carlos Sainz for Williams on 11 points in 10th. Alex Albon, then Pierre Gasly in P12, then ourselves with Gabriel Mini in P13, then Lawson and Lindblad, the 2 other drivers to score points, and the rest have still yet to score points here in Formula 1 in 2026. The constructors then, McLaren, extend their lead back to almost a whole 1-2 finish. It's 37 points now ahead of Mercedes in 2nd, Scuderia Ferrari, 82 points back from McLaren in P3. Then Red Bull ourselves now getting a good gap ahead of Williams, 32-point gap ahead of Williams now, who are in P6. Alpine in 7th with 6 points, and now VCARB in 8th with 3. There's Audi, Haas, Aston, Cadillac. There's 4 teams still yet to score points. But that concludes another episode of the My Team. If you really enjoyed this one, that was probably the best of the bunch. Consider liking, consider subscribing. You do not want to miss what comes up next. We make our way towards, I believe, the Monaco Grand Prix up next. But from me, ciao adios, I am done. Bye!